at the top of the group. So you're right. This could absolutely be the one that kind of cements you top 2 guaranteed. And of course, we know the importance of that and the difference it makes in your setup in the playoffs. As we kick this series off with a 12 pool from the Red Zerg in the top right-hand side, it is Namshar.
Down here in the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player going pylon gas. It is Astrea.
Oh, no. He's not going to scout. He's not going to scout. You don't scout with gas first. He's dead.
Oh,
the game's over. I'm calling it. Game ends at 2:07. That's my prediction.
That is brutal. You know, he's actually also unfortunate. He's not even doing the usual like wall off at the north side first. He's walling off on the south side first. Because if you wall off on the north side, there's maybe a chance you could like try and wall off the Lings on that ramp if they come through there and buy a little bit of time. And then they have to walk around. You have a few more seconds to try and get something up. But oh, that is absolutely brutal.
Namshar as well has a drone, by the way, on the bottom of the map. What's he planning with that?
I think he's ready to like prevent a wall off, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And this is so bad for Astrea. Again, you don't scout with gas first because it basically means because you have probes supporting gas, you get to 16 workers and it works perfectly in terms of numbers right away. He will scout now. So he scouts late and he's going to see the Lings. So that's a huge choice from Astrea. And that might just save him from losing this. I mean, obviously the drone is there so it can block the wall. I mean, the Lings are still going to get around on the pylon, but probes can pull to then fight the Lings off. But that's still really bad. He takes the hatchery on the natural of the cancel. Oh.
Okay, I like the second pylon because that's the next fear is that the reinforcing Lings or even these Lings are just going to go after the pylon and depower, preventing any additional units from coming out. Cybercore is finished up, and let me tell you something, there's plenty of gas available for Astrea to make an Adept, to make a Sentry or something. Lings will get into the main base, and a few Lings working away at this pylon. Astrea's got a micro well on both fronts.
This is really, really difficult to deal with. The Zealot takes some shots, doesn't go down. The probe's finding the low ground. Adept is here soon. I mean, Namshar is still making Lings. That's how good he's feeling about this position. And why the heck wouldn't he? He's in a great spot. He's going to get a few more probes now. The shield battery is done. He's going to go back in the main. You don't need a fight on the natural expansion. You don't need to fight that shield battery. Fight in the main base. Fight away from it. Yeah, the Zealot and the Adept are here, sure. But then there's still more Lings showing up. They might be able to take the shield battery down.
Well, I mean, if Astrea can mine enough resources to start completing the wall off, there aren't, like you said, more Lings still coming. But if he can get there in time, it looks like another Adept is going to pop on out, but the shield battery still ends up falling here. Adept gets into the wall in, but there's the hatchery completed now, Wardy. So much more complicated now. That one Adept has got to try and prevent the Lings from knocking down the wall. And the Zealot or the probes, I feel like they got to start working away at the hatchery, but they also have to complete the wall off.
Namshar's still making Lings though, and if not, it means that if Astrea holds this, he's still in a good spot somewhat. Obviously, he's still down a base, and then there's re-drone potential from Namshar, but the depth behind this wall, it kind of feels like it's going to hold on, and I mean, even if it doesn't hold on, how many Lings are really going to get through? Here we go. Lings going to go for this around the Adept. He kind of had it, but the Adept slip away, and now I think Astrea's just got this.
Yeah, 3 Adepts are going to start massacring these Lings pretty quickly. I do like that the Queen is going to be over here for Namshar. That is going to help out a lot. Lings head over to the main base again. I wouldn't hate if the Adepts shaded to the main, but keep going after that Queen. Exactly. Because now he can protect those probes and still try and get some additional damage done to the Queen. But Lings still force all the probes to pull off the line for a little bit. Another Adept is about to pop out on top of the 3 that are already here.
Oh, the shield battery is obviously big. The Ling's still taking a decent fight. Now the shield battery's out of energy. Adept to Zealot go down. Finally, this damage is adding up. Another Adept goes up. Wargate is done.
Okay, that's going to actually mean another Adept will pop out very, very quickly back to back. Shield battery heals up that Adept just a little bit more. Namshar is still committing to this. Morty, I feel like if Astrea gets wind of this and he just re-walls again, this is going to be really difficult for him to break now.
This is what... I mean, I feel like at some point Namshar decided to keep on making Lings, but I also feel like at some stage here, he could have just said, yeah, you know what, I'll grown up from this. I forced so many probes to run around for so long. He got greedy thinking he could win the game with it, but now he loses all the Lings, and now he's in a horrible spot to the point of GG. What a turnaround.
Astrea winning from what seemed to be an almost unwinnable position there, as just straight build order wise, going for the gas first. That should not have been something you can defend like that.
No, it's because he decided to late scout, right? So by late scouting, he then does end up seeing the Zerglings, and that gives him enough preparation to not just straight up die like I was talking about initially, because you do often with gas first just not scout at all. You play completely blind, you play a two-base game, you just say, cool, gonna be very greedy here and go from there. But the decision to scout obviously changes that, because then you can react to the Lings. If you don't react to the Lings, you lose the pylon, you lose power, you lose probes, Lings keep coming, and then the Lings streaming across the map do just end the game.
Okay, well, that means that we go into game number 2 with a 1-0 lead there for Astrea. Clearly, that's, I mean, the 12 pool, it has been something that's been working its way back into the meta a little bit in ZVP, but it's not something you usually see a ton of games in a row. So I actually feel like this gets really scary for Namshar, because Astrea is exactly the kind of player who will have his special little take on ZVP or PvZ ready for Namshar. And it just hasn't even been shown during that first game. Namshar actually doesn't even know what Astrea was going to be planning to do.
Yeah, no, it's definitely scary. If I'm in a ZVP, I'd actually rather play against Zest 4-gate Adept build than play against Astrea when you're down a game, because at least with the 4-gate Adept build, you know what's coming, right? With Astrea, he really can change it up. He can be more aggressive. He really does have some fun ways to make this very different. So excited for this game number 2. We're going into Everdream. That's definitely kind of a map where you could see Queen walks across the map and Rose Ravens. I know that's not as popular nowadays, and I don't expect necessarily Namshar to do something like that. But if the situation arises where Astrea does something weird and Namshar feels like he can kill him, it's something that's worth keeping in mind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're getting ready to move into that second game. Do want to remind you guys that this is, in a sense, a fight to see who is going to be more or less guaranteed a spot in the top 2, or who is going to have to fight it out in that next match to see whether or not they still get to advance into the winner's bracket of the playoffs. So tough position here. You really, really want that extra life in the playoffs, especially with the level of players that are already making their way out in Group A. Here we go. We're moving into map number 2 on Everdream. We're going to be starting over here, the bottom left-hand side of the map. Top of the red Zerg player, he is Namshar.
And in the top right, our blue Protoss is Astrea.
Okay, well, no 12 pools or anything this game, Wardy. Get to calm down a tiny bit. Astrea is still going to just go for the gate first instead of the gas first this game, and go for that probe scout regardless.
Yep. Probe across the map. I mean, I think after there can absolutely be that mind game of like, ooh, you know what? Like, you know, and I'm just like, maybe I do it again, but no. I mean, this guy's just going to make sure, obviously, probe across the map, but not super early probe. This isn't even designed to really block the hatchery or anything. So, yeah, just going to get up and a little scout around, going to be nibbling and being annoying on those minerals.
Yeah. You know, I was actually preparing myself a little bit. I saw, okay, Everdream. This is actually a really nice cannon rush map. I saw Astrea, but like 4 or 5 hours ago, during like the break between EU and NA, I saw Astrea sitting in PrintF's chat, watching him cannon rush some folks. I was like, you know what? Maybe Astrea's getting into the mindset, but no. Looks like it's just going to be kind of Astrea playing his normal sort of style and his own sort of take on StarCraft. But I think it is something I really like about Astrea. It's one of my favorite aspects about Astrea, not as a human being, well, not just as a human being, but also as a player. He is one of the most open-minded players. He is willing to take ideas and criticism and thoughts from almost anyone. It's actually something Katz has said as well, is that if you were a Silver League player and you came up to Astrea and kind of said like, oh, what about this idea? He wouldn't just be like, oh, well, you're Silver League, so whatever you have to say is invalid. He'd kind of be like, huh, why do you think that's a good idea? Like he'd actually go down the line of thinking and be like, is this actually valid thought process?
Ooh, Astrea's going to put down the Stargate. I love changing up a little bit for the Stargate.
Yeah, me too. So Stargate is going to have like a lot of that old school power that we've seen from Stargates all the time, where you can open up with an Oracle or something, You can help defend your third bases against like big link floods or a lot of the early aggression. But yeah, you can also just put some pressure on, get some good scouting information.
Well, Depp coming across, obviously looking to see what's up. Yeah, Astrea is actually one of the few players who has been playing more and more Stargates recently. Still, he's actually, I think, one of the few players I've seen who has never done like a Resonating Glaives build or so. And then, you know, again, it's like Astrea brand of PVZ, right? So, very, very fun to see.
Yeah. Okay, well, Two Depth's going to be over here. They're going to try and shade around, see what they can get done. We'll see if Astrea decides to commit with it. Ooh, yeah, going to send him in. And the two Lings also managed to sneak on in, get a little bit of scouting information over here. But one of the Adepts is already taking a lot of damage there. So I think Astrea is going to have to shade out of here pretty quickly. Ooh, nope, a little too late. Gets 2, possibly 3 drones. No, doesn't get the 3rd.
Couple workers going down, not bad start, but now the lane's going to go across the map. And they picked up a probe in the process, so 2 for 2 early on here as Namshar still trailing in workers. Will of course catch up quick. The supply block is what's really slowing him down. He could have already had so many extra workers on the way, but yeah, supply blocked and now money going into extra overlords. And that's perhaps the biggest issue is now this Oracle's going to fly into an undefended natural. I mean, there's only one queen here. It's not even double queen.
Oh, it's not even immediately attacking the Oracle, so it gets a few extra shots off. 4 drones already picked off from 1 Oracle. And remember, this is just the first Oracle. There's another Oracle on the way. This is a great start for the harass for Astrea.
Absolutely, as we see a few extra drones just about to finish up here from Namshar, but Astrea has gotten off to a fiery start in this game. Definitely what he was looking for with this Oracle, and now a second Oracle coming, so the pressure continues. Actually drops a stasis ward with the first one. That will not do much. Looks like Namshar pulled away in time. And the third Oracle of Astrea now building as well.
Yeah. Okay, but behind this, there is going to be that Robo added on. Want to note that, you know, your Twilight Council and things do get a little bit delayed when you try and go for this kind of opening versus, say, an Adept opening or, you know, a Charge opening, which I think is a little more rare these days. But it does mean that Astrea is just going to be adding on a few gateways here and there, but it's not going to be super powerful gateway units. You're really relying on these Oracles to stay alive, find bits and pieces of damage, but you don't want to sacrifice them.
Wow, that was 3 drones pretty quickly there, but then it kind of felt like maybe it could have been more with 2 Oracles. But yeah, there's been a little bit of mishap on that Oracle micro. Definitely maybe could have been 1 or 2 more workers, but still overall good damage, right? And Forge in the Twilight to follow up. Where do you think Astrea goes from here? Do you think he just goes straight into that charge? I mean, that was kind of the old school, kind of very standard way of doing it. Astrea did, for a long time, play his own kind of version of kind of playing Blink. And nowadays, you know, Blink is a thing, but it's more often seen after, like, Glaives or so. So, do you think we just see charge here? Maybe some Astrea Blink?
Yeah, I feel like we're more likely to see charge or something from here.
Oh,
we might see a hidden Spire over here from Namshar, though. All right.
I like it.
No, he reconsiders. He's like, actually, the real estate in this location is a little too expensive. I'm not feeling it.
I love that.
Awkward. Yeah.
I wonder what he's... I don't know what he saw or what he decided. Yeah, I mean, he goes into the main base before making that decision, but what do you see that's like, oh, yeah,
he's sending the drone back at... Okay, Morty, I have 2 thoughts. I think it's either 1, he missed microed, or 2, he saw the double Phoenix hallucination and didn't. Possible. And usually those hallucinations, it's a hallucination, you split them up. And he thought, it's a Stargate opening. I see 2 Phoenix together. I think they're real. I'm going to abandon a Spire play. And then he realized it was a hallucination. And he was like, oh, I can actually still do this. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes the most sense out of everything. I tell you what, surprising me is, I was asking about the Twilight. We've not even seen a single upgrade of the Twilight. No charge or Blink. So, he held it suspense. It should just be charged then if he's going straight to Temple Archives here, I imagine. So that's kind of crazy. I imagine that's actually a mistake from Astrea not to get charged. Because usually you would always get charge with +1. You know, it's like the golden rule of PvZ. It's like charge with +1, storm with +2. You know, that's a pretty good guideline to follow. But yeah, no charge here. Hopefully he realizes that before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, he's worked in 4 High Templar over here, immediately going for Storm right now. And I mean, the window for Astrea to have done something about any of this is already starting to close. At this point, it is just going to be about trying to react by getting a bunch of Phoenix up himself. But also just that one Stargate and the fact that we have, what, 800 gas banked and about to be spent over here. 800 minerals, 800 gas. Spire's done. Maybe 9 mutas?
Starts up some drones. Has the lava, has everything. Adepts drop into the main. Namshar and keep himself busy with that. That's actually quite a few kills going down. The Adept actually shading back to the Prism. And that will mean they all stay alive.
Very well microed over there. And hits right before any of those mutas actually end up popping on out. The funny thing here for Astrea, though, is that he's just going to have seen a bunch of roaches, Wardy. This is going to actually be really misleading until the moment where I think the mutas probably chase down the Prism, get the kill on that most likely, and then Astrea's going to be starting something up. Astrea's probably sitting here being like, you're mining, okay, so you took the low ground base, you're mining the high yield gas. I only see a few roaches and ravagers. Like, is this oh, look at that star sense. There it is.
Second Stargate's gonna start up more Phoenix. The first Phoenix, for whatever reason, flying through those mutas. Oh, he drops storms. That's actually not bad. I mean, there's not a lot of other anti-air here. Oh, well, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say Guardian Shield is actually a massive help versus the Mutalisk because of the Glaive Worm bounce also gets damage reduced twice. Now with, I mean, there's gonna be, what, 2 mutas out on the map? It's not entirely ideal. But with the Archons there to zone, the Oracle having tagged the mutas, and a third Phoenix about to pop, I'm actually feeling a lot better about this. But Astrea still has to deal with the ground army if Namshar moves out.
Yeah, it was the really big thing about the storms is that obviously those mutas take a lot of damage, right? So then they can't dive mineralize that already had cannons in, and it means that the Phoenix can really fight them in lower numbers already. So it actually buys Astrea a bunch of time to properly prepare. Namshar is on 64 drones. It looks like he's just going to go for this attack. Doesn't have Bane speed yet. We'll see how well Astrea can hold on against this. The fact Astrea is basically maxed out, though, with Namshar trying to do this, is generally a really good sign for Astrea. Like, I feel like oftentimes this muter into like a Roach Ravager attack is kind of meant to hit, like, you know, with like the Protoss down on like 40 supply, but the Protoss right now is actually just maxed out as well. So, yeah.
I mean, if you consider like what's happened, the mutas obviously didn't get as much damage done. The Spire got delayed by an extra like 30 to 40 seconds. Astrea's also done a nice job with this kind of Adept harassment with a Warp Prism. I mean, all of these delays really do start to add up. Oh, the stasis traps could be big over here, Wardy. He catches a bunch of the roaches and Ravagers, creating a bit of a wall here as well. And now, Astrea's going to be able to catch this army while Namshar's killing gateways.
Yeah, and you know what? These Oracles, I mean, where are the Mutalists? They're just not here to support the Ravagers. The Ravagers are getting chased by Oracles. I mean, Phoenix could realistically have lifted a Ravager or so as well. I mean, now Astrea starts up that Blink upgrade. He did eventually get the charge, so he's sitting on that. The Phoenix need to get out of the way from the Mutalists. But he's got cannons to back him up, so he should be all right. And, I mean, this is still a large army, and Astrea was not expecting Namshar to go from the same direction as Bane speed finishes. A stasis ward saves them from a lot of the Balins already. The Banes rolling through. They get 12, 16 probes. Last couple of Bane shots going in. Finally, some damage there for Namshar.
Yeah, but, I mean, even at the end of the day, Wardy, Astrea's up in workers after losing 16. Now he's going to leave an Archon and some of the Immortals over here. It might actually set up all the Hardened Shields and just from those Banelings, but yeah, now the mutas are diving in. Oh, Wardy, I mean, there were still 4 Phoenix alive and all these Archons. I don't know how I feel about that one, but oh, this I like. Namshar's going to be able to catch Astrea all the way down over the third base. Astrea catches all the roaches that we're trying to reinforce, though.
What is that? These Zealots just have like a perfect 360 surround on roaches and they win that fight? That's actually madness. Like with 5 Zealots alive? Wow, that's really, really good.
Oh, he might see the Spire, maybe? No.
So
if you notice,
he saw the creep. He's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, I think the Zealots were revealed by the Spire more than the Spire was revealed by the Zealots. But all right, the Zealots are gonna get caught over here. I want to note that there were a ton of Mutalists that were just made. 28 mutas, even with all these Archons, even with all these Phoenix. 40. There is still a way for Namshar to win this, and that is with a magic box of those mutas against any of the Archons and just avoiding the fight, killing off the Phoenix like this.
Yeah, but the Phoenix forced the mutas to turn around, so in this base trading scenario, the mutas are now held back even longer. The head start of the Protoss player basically gets that little bit larger, and Well, the Banes have some work to do here, but the Storm's available, and they're going to be massive in the fight, which is going to break out in a moment. Down over here, good play by Namshar, pulls the Banes away from the first Storms, and that's going to be what you need to have happen. Few Banes from the bottom side. Is there a way for Namshar to hold off this army? Astrea is rich back at home as well.
Yeah, I mean, Astrea does still have a lot, and of course he does win this fight. But Wardy, I am a little bit concerned that, okay, well, you know what? My concerns are gone. I was like, all the Archons just died in that fight. And I am still a little bit worried about that on the other side of the map, but with the Phoenix reinforcing, and I think if these High Templar are turned into Archons, I actually think it should still disincentivize Namshar from directly engaging for a bit.
Zami keeps
he's not doing
in.
it, though. Oh, he's just going to recall.
Yeah, he's fine. Astrea had so much money, so he loses the right side base, but he kills 2 bases of Namshar. He had money in the bank. We saw that massive Stalker warp in to help, scare off the Mutalisks. And now Astrea rejoins everything together while still sitting on a pretty comfortable 3 base. 4 bases actually up and up mining on the right-hand side. So, yeah, it's tough. You've got so many cannons to support as well. And Namshar doesn't have the tools to really break through what Astrea has.
Yeah, we were at 28 plus mutas. We're down to 17. And with another Phoenix going to be popping out over here, and it does manage to survive. That's going to be 4 Phoenix still alive. It looks like one of them did end up dying there, but 2 Phoenix being produced at a time. But Namshar has no choice but to double down on this. He's even getting +2 flyer attack. I really feel like if Astrea at any point is able to afford the Fleet Beacon and get up anti-impulse crystals, that's the insta tap out. That is the insta GG there for Namshar.
Yeah, honestly, every Phoenix that gets added to the field is just like one step closer to closing this off, and that's going to be the Spire Found, so no more mutas to be filled after this. I mean, that might just be the beginning of at the end, as Astrea does get the Fleet Beacon going. But yeah, it was already in a very tough spot for Namshar. Mutas keep you in games like this for a long time, but yeah, now that you take down the Spire, the mutas stop building, it becomes less and less likely that we really see that potential, dragging yourself, clawing your way back into this game. We'll see one big Bane muta attack over here. The Phoenix, the Cannons, the Stalkers, all holding on very well. The mutas will not do much, and with the army across the map, Namshar will lose too much. GG.